I only trained zone 2 running for 3 weeks and got a half marathon PB. Let me explain. Now, I was running now and again, not much, less than 10k a week. Not enough volume to be running a half marathon PB, by the way. 3 weeks away, there was a local half marathon, so I was like, why not get myself signed up? I always mention it's best to get yourself signed up for something. You got something to aim for. So 3 weeks, I knew I didn't have long, and I knew zone 2 running was the best to build your aerobic base. And for those who follow me on TikTok, you'll already know that I was doing zone 2 running because I documented a bit on there. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my experiences of this 3-week training period. Right, so what is zone 2 training? And I hope you're like, why I'm purple, I'm in a Premier Inn. Right, people like to complicate zone 2 training. I like to think of it as 150 beats per minute maximum. So usually running at a conversational pace. I mean, I'd never run with people, but if I was, I'd be able to have a conversation with them and it wouldn't be affecting my running. So it's very easy running. I use a Garmin to track my heart rate, but if you don't have one, you don't need one. But the way to know you'll be doing a zone 2 without tracking your heart rate is, like I say, having a conversation, or you just nose breathing. I like to just breathe in and out my nose. You don't need to mouth. Sorry, Cole Palmer. What? Also, recovery is absolutely essential when running. I like to sleep for at least 8 hours a day. It's not always going to be 8 hours. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. It's great to set out a weekly plan so you don't overtrain. I like to go to the gym as well and work on bodybuilding. So I don't like to do 100% of both, because it's just never going to work. And this moves on to the next point. You need to keep your nutrition on point. So a normal day, I was eating 180 grams of protein. That was just what I like to aim for. I'd say just under my maintenance, because I was in a little bit of a cutting phase on my bodybuilding as well. So I was trying to like cut down a little bit of fat and get a bit shredded. But with running, you're burning so many calories. I needed to up that a little bit. Now, race day nutrition and race week nutrition, this is crucial. Right, so on a normal day, I'm usually eating about 300 grams of carbs. 2 nights before, so my run was on the Sunday, so on the Friday, I ate 600 grams, and this was a lot of carbs, but it was getting your body used to it because of the way that it uses it during your running. And you don't want to be just carb loading the night before, because you're just probably going to end up with stomach pains. So the night before, I was eating 750 grams of carbs that day. It was just pure bagels, sourdough bread, pasta, rice, you name it. It was in my belly. I'd like to leave a comment if you've ever carb loaded or like a carb heavy meal. What meal is that? Because I could do with some recommendations. Now, the morning of race day, I was up at 5 AM because the race was at 9. I didn't want to upset my stomach. So I ate at 6 AM. I like to leave it 3 hours. I like to have my protein oats, and if you need a recipe, go to my TikTok. See, yeah, everyone was wanting the recipe for some reason, and it's literally just oats, protein powder, water and dark chocolate, and it's unreal. Now, fueling in the race, it's totally optional in my opinion for a half marathon. Any longer, then yes, you need to fuel during the race, but I didn't fuel. And it was alright because it was a half marathon. My body didn't need it, just from the past days of carb loading as well. Now, you might be different. You might like to fuel like a gel, banana, orange, whatever during the race, but it's totally optional. So let's move on swiftly to gear. And what gear do you need when running? You've got essentials and non-essentials. Number 1 essential, running shoes. You need some specific made running shoes, because I was running in some sport shoes and it was getting me blisters all the time. It was awful. So I bought myself a new pair, put them up on screen, but now after a year and a half of having them, I've had 700 kilometers on them, so it is a lot. So I'm actually looking at new ones. So if you've got any recommendations, please let me know, because I'm stuck in the world of running shoes. 1 pair is enough. You've got people with race day shoes, speed shoes, daily shoes. I think try and get something to do it all. An easy shoe is fine, I think, for your first one, maybe even your second, but I'm gonna be a total hypocrite and go back, because I'm gonna start like talking about my running and all that. I'm gonna buy a couple of pairs just to try out for this channel. And it could be controversial, but I think a watch is up there with one of the most essential running gear. Like, yeah, you can track it on your phone, but then you're gonna have to get your phone out your pocket all the time. So having it on your watch is ideal. And if you spend a little bit on a watch, it sort of gives you motivation to use it. Now, the non-essentials, I actually bought, I'll put them all up on the screen. I bought a heart rate monitor that goes there. I was bored and I wanted one. Headphones, it's not really essential. I think everyone has a pair anyway. Sunglasses, again, it's not everyone's got a pair, but sports running sunglasses, which I already have as well. They're not essential, but they're a good accessory. Moving on to race day and results. Now, as mentioned, it was a PB, but it wasn't my first race. It was only my second ever half marathon, by the way. My first one was the Great North Run, and God, we do not go back to that. I made a video on it about 5 months ago in September, and I didn't do my carb loading. I had a weekend of drinking booze all inclusive the week before, so I was finished after it. I couldn't walk the next day. But because I already had the experience of like doing my first race, I knew not to bomb it on the first bit, because everyone's with you, like you're with everyone, you just want to go for it. But I kept it at 160 beats per minute heart rate and it was fine. Like, I was honestly, look at the pictures, I've got a smile on my face compared to the Great North Run. I didn't really have a goal for this race, I just wanted to finish it in under 2 hours really. But I was feeling good, so it got to the last 5k and I was like, if I can do this last 5k in 25 minutes, which is like 5 minutes per kilometre, for the last 5k, I was like, I'm getting a 148, so I was like, let's go for it. My last PB, by the way, was 154. Now, as I say, I might have got a few more views from saying it was my PB and it's my only second one, but technically I'm right. So that's sort of a limitation. But going forward, I'm going to add in some more speed sessions, interval sessions, tempo sessions, just to get my speed up, because zone 2 is good for building the aerobic base, but I'm never going to get quicker. And the Great North Run did have a lot more elevation than this one. This one was pretty flat, which I was loving it. That might be why the smile on my face, to be honest. So what's the future plans? I'm going to be documenting my progress with this little camera here, because I bought it and I really haven't used it, to be honest, so it gets the use out of it. I'm going to be documenting my running progress, maybe my lifting as well. But I just want to become a really good runner, to be honest. Nothing special. I'm still going to be lifting as well as running, but I'm going to be taking more consideration into my running, I think. So I want to set some pretty tasty goals. Nothing ridiculous, but I want to hit like sub 25k. Next one's probably 140 half marathon as well. And also on this channel, I want to do some races abroad, so I'll be taking you away with me as well. So if you like to see them, make sure you drop a subscribe on my channel. And after a half marathon abroad, I'd have to do a marathon. I'm going to do it, I've got to. And also, I mentioned previously, new running shoes, that's my future plans. Please tell me your running shoes and your recommendations for me. I need like the stability shoes, I think, but let me know on that, because some people have said you don't even need neutral stability, like it's a con, but my only ones of stability, and I've had no injuries, touch wood. So yeah, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, boys. It's only my first, well, it's my first one back in a while, so they're only going to get better from here. So if you want to see my documentary on my David Attenborough, my documentation of my running, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Cheers, boys.